This has been the craziest year for gardening of any year I've ever experienced in 15 or 16 years of gardening. I'm not sure I could be in any worse of a mood right now. Came in the greenhouse today to start loading plants in here for an April frost, which is a once in a 100-year event here. And a rat had dug up all of my candy cane striped beets. I even had a nice rat trap in here with sunflower seeds as bait, and instead of going for the sunflower seeds, the rat decided to dig up all my beets. But anyway, yes, this is a potato plant in the greenhouse. I don't think I've ever seen anything so ridiculous in my life, having to put potatoes in a greenhouse. But yeah, it's like a sick April Fool's joke. We're gonna be getting down to 33 degrees tonight, which is just beyond reasonable. There's plenty of years where we don't even get a freeze in the winter. And if we do get freezes, they're usually over by the middle of February. Our last frost date is technically like March 8th, but we never get frosts into March 8th. I think in the 16 years I've been gardening, the latest frost I've ever seen was March 18th, and that was a freak chance event. The idea that we would be getting a frost in April is just, like I said, beyond anything anyone I've ever talked to has ever experienced around here. So yeah, I'm glad I still got the greenhouse up, but it was pretty rough on my back moving all these plants in here. And I think the tropical fruit tree on the back porch is just gonna have to die because it's soaking wet and over 200 pounds. I'm not gonna try to move that in the house, I don't think. But yeah, I'm putting potato plants in a greenhouse in April. Things I never thought I would see. Some stuff I might actually bring in the house, like these brandywine yellow tomatoes here. They're just in a tiny little eggshell tray. Those are probably coming in the actual house. The tomatillos are coming in the house. I think everything else will be all right in here. Some of the tomatoes are small enough that if I lose them, I can just replant. But some are a little bit larger. But yeah, between the insane weather and the rat digging up all my beets, same rat I've been dealing with for a month now, ate all the broccoli plants. Not really gonna do a garden tour here. Maybe we'll just look at some of the stuff that's gonna die. Squash here is gonna die. There's quite a few tomatoes that are already in the ground that I'm not really sure I have a good way to cover. This squash plant is gonna die. This squash plant is gonna die. This squash plant's gonna die. This one's gonna die. There's another one back here that's gonna die. I'm gonna try to cover some of these potatoes over here, but most of these are probably gonna die. This tomato looks like it's already dying, huh? There's another tomato back there. There's quite a few. There's a bunch of tomatillos over here, purple ones. Yeah, I mean, this is just nuts. We had a couple days in February that were close to 90 degrees. And now we're gonna get down to the low 30s in April. This tomatillo doesn't even know what's going on. It's already flowering. It has no idea what it's about to experience tonight. A lot of these tomatillos are already flowering because they've been sitting out here in the upper 80s. We've had one day that was like 92. Today is 85 degrees. So we're going from 85 today down to 33 tonight. Because, like I said, a sick April Fool's joke. All these tomatillos are done. There's no way I can cover all this stuff. This tomato's a goner. Yeah, it'll be interesting to come out Saturday morning and see what's left, but probably not going to be much. This tomato's a goner. All this corn's done for. I could probably cover this one bucket of corn, but there's not anything I can do about this. And you need a bunch of corn for pollination, so if I lose this, that's pretty much the whole crop. This tomato's done for. It's already got flowers on it. Most of these flowers are done. I might try to cover this potato. There's squash in the front yard I'm gonna try to cover. But it ain't looking good, folks. I guess I was fortunate that I didn't get rid of all the winter crops. There's still plenty of winter stuff out here. Some years I hack all the winter stuff down in the middle of March and just go hard on summer stuff, but there's still plenty of winter things out here. A lot of it's all getting eaten by rats. Half my carrots have gotten dug up, but there's still plenty of food out here in terms of winter crops. This is the fruit tree I was talking about that I can't drag in the house because that's how I messed up my back last year. And maybe I should stop putting things in 45 and 50 gallon pots, huh? 45 gallons of wet soil is no joke, especially when you got to get it upstairs and into the house. I ought to just let this thing die, but I started this tree from seed. It's 3 years old. Produced really well for me last year. I guess I'm gonna try to drag it in the house. I can't really cover it, it's too tall. I don't know. Sorry this video is so depressing. April Fools, just kidding. It's not gonna get down to 33 tonight. No, it is. Speaking of depressing, I think I just want to quit gardening. I'll just be a carnivore and go out and hunt all the time. I mean, I planted these beets from seed back in like October. I was so excited about these. Unbelievable. The ironic part is the beets do fine through the cold and they get dug up by a rat. I'm gonna try to cover this lemon tree because it's got blooms all over it. It's not gonna get cold enough to damage the citrus plants, but it could negatively impact fruit set. But yeah, so I'm gonna close up shop here in the greenhouse and we'll see what's left Saturday morning. Get that nice slug eating my onions. Thanks, slug. This has got to be the worst April Fool's joke ever. It's the 3rd of April and there's a 50% chance of snow in the next hour. And I'm in a climate where we don't usually get snow. Not even in January. Some years we don't have frosts. Most years we get our first frost at the end of December or early January. We have probably 2 or 3 days out of the entire year where it gets below 32. It's usually right back up in the 70s. This year we've had probably 10 days under 32. We had a couple of days where we got down to the mid-20s, which is unheard of here, and it was devastating to a lot of plants. It's now April 3rd, and this is not only the latest frost I've ever heard of here, it's the latest frost that anyone I've talked to has ever heard of here. It got down to 29, 30 in the last hour, so not just a light frost either. I think the devastation is going to be pretty epic for a lot of farmers. The forecast was 34 and patchy frost. Turned out to be 29, 30 and heavy frost. guess we'll take a quick look around. We'll go in the backyard and look at some dead stuff. The footprints are kind of funny. I just cut the lawn yesterday. I was out here with no shirt on. It was like 80 degrees yesterday. That's wild. April 3rd. I'll never forget this year. I did try to cover quite a few things, but I'm not particularly optimistic. I guess I should be happy that the greenhouse is still structurally sound. The frost looks a good bit heavier in the front yard, which is somewhat surprising to me, but the potatoes are going to be the most tragic loss, at least in terms of calories. Get you the ice on the mint there. I guess these zinnias are probably toast. There's some corn under there that's done for. I guess I ought to come out here with some sprinklers in a few minutes, but it's probably too late, given that it's still only 30 degrees and there's no wind out here. I mean, even the clover's wilting. That's a pretty bad sign. Look at all the strawberry blossoms. That's almost pretty. Oh, this little tomato lost its cover. Oh, the tomatillos. That's really unfortunate. I got a cover under a couple of them, but I couldn't cover all of them. I think I had 9 or 10 tomatillos out here. Let's see one there that's wilting. Not sure what's going to happen to these frozen fruits. What a mess. Alright, well. Enough of this, I suppose. I'll make another video in a couple days and we'll see what managed to survive. I am going to get a picture of these strawberries because they are pretty.